All right, welcome to the Music Makes Cash TV film music licensing crash course. Now, like I said in the previous video when you signed up, this is a 5-day course and I'm going to deliver you a daily video to your email inbox every single day. And by the end of the 5 days, you're going to know how to get your songs placed on TV shows, movies, and commercials. This is real information that I've personally put together from my own experience in this business. So this isn't fluff. This isn't just general information on how you could potentially succeed. This is real stuff that really can get you to a place where you're earning great royalties, getting your music placed on major TV shows in the US and throughout the world. So this is legit stuff. This really can help your career out. So I hope you enjoyed the information. I'm going to try to keep it as entertaining and informational, obviously, as possible. If you have any questions, you can always email me at jesse@musicmakescash.com throughout any point in the next 5 days. But please, pay attention to all the information I'm providing here. Take notes if you need to. This stuff really is life-changing. It really can turn your entire career around. So without further ado, let's get started. So first of all, who am I? Why should you be listening to me, right? Like, I'm just some guy on the internet that you stumbled across. Why should you be taking any information from me as far as how to succeed with your music, how to get your music placed on TV shows, movies, and commercials? Well, I'm a music producer. I work out of my home studio here in Las Vegas, and I can't read music, and I'm not some virtuoso rock star, okay? So I have some experience playing drums and guitar, but that's about it. Most of the stuff that I do these days is basically just producing music on my computer. Through my keyboard, really. But again, can't read music. I'm not some Beethoven that's got some amazing talent. All right, I'm okay. I got some good music. I think I'm pretty decent, but by far not even close to the best producer out there, or the best musician, or the best anything. Right? Just an average guy with an average home studio. Nothing fancy. Now, I've been making a living, though, with TV film licensing since 2008. And I actually got introduced into the industry a few years before that. So I've almost been at it about 10 years now. So I know what I'm talking about. I've been in this business long enough to know what works, what doesn't work. And it's been a great journey. A lot of ups and downs. I've made a lot of mistakes. I've done things kind of the hard way. But, now almost 10 years into it, I absolutely love this business, love this industry. It allows me to make music for a living and to keep, continuously pushing myself to do new things and challenge myself to make new kinds of music that I've never made before. So I love this business. Now, currently, I have over 1,000 tracks that are getting me hundreds of placements every single quarter. And you can see on that picture on your screen right now that that's my ASCAP catalog, and that was actually a few years ago before I switched over to BMI. I'm with BMI now, but before I switched over, I had 1,100, over 1,000 tracks there that are in the system, online, in libraries around domestically and internationally, that are earning me royalties, hundreds every single quarter, and throughout the course of my almost 10 years in this business, thousands, right, tons of placements that I've gotten from the music that I produced. And I primarily produce rock, pop, and EDM, and I use Logic Pro. So those are the three main genres that I focus in. I know that you might focus somewhat in those genres, or maybe you do hip hop, or you do country, or you do something else. All of those genres can do well in this business. So those are the three that my heart's at. Like, I grew up like a metalhead. I loved rock. I loved punk. So rock was where I grew up in, and so that's where I started. But then as I progressed and got into this business and into producing music, I started discovering some great pop music that I loved. EDM really kind of like just took hold of me. I really got into dubstep when that was popular a few years ago. And then EDM, progressive, all kinds of dance music that I just really, really love, and I fell in love with producing it. So those are the three that I specialize in, but again, all genres can do well in this business. And the reason why I'm sharing this information with you, somebody who stumbled across this course and wants to take this, is because I know that many of you are hardworking and you really deserve to succeed with your music. You deserve to get paid properly and well, enough to make a living and to not have to have some boring, stupid day job that you hate, okay? I have come across so many musicians in this business and many other businesses that they get burnt out, right? They're trying to, push their music on the masses and try to distribute it and get promoted. And it just doesn't work out for them. They don't have a business plan that gets them to be able to make a living with their music full time. And that is so frustrating for me to see that happening. I had even bandmates when I first got into this business while, I was doing well and starting to get my first placements in this industry, and they just one by one would drop off and get a day job that they hated. And that honestly broke my heart. That really sucked because, they'd be calling me saying how much they hated their jobs. And there I was getting contracts, getting checks, getting placements, and my career was blossoming while theirs was dying. So I decided I can't keep this to myself. I can't just, hold all of this to myself and just enjoy this by myself. I really want to help people like my former bandmates, like my former friends that really could benefit from this kind of information. And I did share this information with them, and many of them actually took the knowledge, applied it, and now they're doing this full time as well. They saw that their placements were growing and their money and their royalties started growing. So they see for themselves now that this really is legit. It really does work. And it's one of the few places you can still make a living making music in this current industry. The industry is just screwed up right now. And I'm going to get into that in the next slide here. But that's why I'm sharing this information really. Is like I really do care about other musicians and their success because we're brothers and sisters in this, right? Like I meet somebody who makes music. We have an instant, there's some sort of a bond there, there's a connection there because we both have a passion and a craft that we love and we can't think of doing anything else in the world other than doing that. And I'm tired of seeing the people getting burnt out and jaded from not succeeding. So that's why I'm here and providing this information for you. Now, I have to provide some very grim information right now. Something that maybe you're not going to want to hear, but you do need to hear this information because this should scare you straight, okay? This 95% you're seeing on your screen right now is representative of the 95% of all artists that never achieve success. This is why there's a stereotype out there that musicians are broke and why they never make money is because they're chasing a pipe dream. They don't know really what they're doing, and they just hope that they're going to be a rock star one day. And that absolutely is no business plan, and that is a pipe dream. You are chasing something. If that's who you are right now, and you don't really know what you're doing other than like hoping that you get discovered or picked up or signed by a label one day, then yeah, you are chasing a pipe dream that isn't going to do well for you, and it's not going to achieve you any long-term success where you can, make your full-time income from music. So this is the reality of all label artists, of all artists that start a band, singer-songwriters, producers, DJs, everybody. 95% of everybody who gets into this business might last a year or two, but they never make enough money to succeed, and then they end up giving it up, and then they get bitter and jaded as they get older. So I'm putting this presentation together for you. Do not become that bitter and jaded older, musician that didn't make it and then just thinks the whole world is stacked against you. No, it's because you didn't have a clear and precise business plan and a marketplace to serve who wanted to pay you for your music. Now, of the 5% that do succeed, very few of them even have a sustainable long-term career. So even think about the few that actually get to be signed by a major label, or even the few artists that get picked up or go viral online, right? Now, how many of them go on to have a 5, 10, 15, 20-year career throughout the course of their lives? Very few, right? I mean, how many artists were hot 3 years ago that you don't even hear anymore, right? So even of the 5% that do succeed in the traditional music business, very few of them even go on for a long-term career. And I'm now almost 10 years into this business, so I'm seeing proof that this business is long-term. It doesn't matter if I'm still the young hot thing anymore that the labels can market and promote. I can still be making music from my home studio, getting paid, even when I'm a 60-year-old, 70-year-old man, right? I can do this for my entire life, and the industry is growing. So I'm seeing that there is longevity in this business, not necessarily in trying to chase the rock star lifestyle and trying to promote your music that way. Now, the internet has done some positive things for artists, right? But it's also made it very hard to stand out, and getting noticed and building a following is almost impossible these days. And I know if you're an artist right now who's got a Facebook and a YouTube and all the social media, profiles that you're supposed to have, you know how hard it is to get people to like it, let alone buy and purchase your music or your merch or show up to your live events and purchase tickets to your gigs. You know that it's an uphill battle. It's so incredibly difficult because anybody can make music and put it online. So you're competing now with, the little 13-year-old kid who has Fruity Loops on his laptop, and he's making great music. and he's got his stuff out there on SoundCloud, and so do you, and so does a million other producers, right? So the competition has just been blown wide open because of the internet. So, good in that many people can now share their music with the world. Bad in that there's way more out there, and there's a lot of crap out there, and it's much harder for people to find the good quality music like yours that they would enjoy and actually support and buy, right? And like and follow and become part of your fan base. So it's getting almost impossible to do that these days just because of the internet. And you guys know that consumers generally today don't feel like they need to pay for music anymore. With Napster and file sharing and all that stuff that happened in the late 90s, early 2000s. There's a whole new generation, especially millennials, who get their music from YouTube for free. They just go find music videos that they never have to pay for, and they listen to all that for free. So the idea of thinking you're going to make a living by selling albums or singles or anything like that anymore, it's just over, right? Even major artists now, their advertising budgets are including sales. So they don't see, CD sales or downloads as part of their revenue. That's just sort of an advertising cost. So a lot of times they're giving away singles or albums or even entire catalogs just to get people to go, oh, I like this artist because now I have their music. I can really get into it. Now I'll be more likely to buy their merch or show up to one of their live shows and support them financially in other ways. So these artists now, they don't even see their music as their sales point. That's just their advertising method now, just to get their music in front of people to then have them come back and pay for, T-shirts and all that other stuff. So that's the reality of the business right now. It's very grim. It's not looking good, but that is what's going on right now. You have to accept the reality of the world as it is. And if you do want to make a living with your music, you will need to serve people that are willing to pay you, right? So if consumers don't want to pay you and it's getting really, really hard to even get them to follow you and pay attention to you, why are you still chasing that marketplace? The market is telling you that that marketplace is drying up and maybe it's not viable anymore. Maybe it's not profitable anymore to go the traditional route in the music business. That's what I learned the hard way because I was too once a struggling artist. I had a band, was trying to promote myself online, play gigs, almost empty venues almost every time, trying to get anybody just to show up, and never produced any money for me because it was such a competitive market, and you're trying to serve people that don't maybe A, have the money to pay you, and B, don't feel like they need to because they've been conditioned to feel that music is just like, water out of a water fountain. It should just be given to them free because everybody loves music. You shouldn't have to pay for it. They don't see that, no, there's actually a hardworking musician, producer, and engineer behind the music that they love, that they should be appreciating with their money, right? Now, let me talk about the TV film music licensing biz really quickly. This is an overview of what this business is and why it can be very profitable for you. So it's a nearly $4 billion industry, okay? So that's, yes, billions. Lots and lots of money. The reason for that is because you know how much money actors, producers, and directors make in TV. You know that, the amount of money that goes into, say, a TV commercial on the Super Bowl costs millions of dollars. You guys have heard the numbers. You've seen that. There's ridiculous money in trying to get audiences and people in general public to pay attention to a particular product or service or a TV show or a movie and get them to come and buy it, right? Or pay attention to it. So big industry, and it's growing every single year. This industry is growing because now you got online methods like Hulu, Netflix. You got all these online, Amazon. Everybody's putting out original content now. So the ways of being entertained and getting new content is exponentially growing. So that means that the marketplace is growing. Advertisers are going, ooh, there's all these new ways we can reach new audiences and now get even better specific marketplaces that we really want to target and advertise to. So we're going to pay even more money and a premium for that kind of a access point to our potential customers. So the business is growing. And there is a huge ongoing need for music in TV shows, movies, and commercials all the time. So even though there's a lot of music out there already in the library, every single year, pretty much every single month, libraries need new music to stay relevant and to keep getting placements in TV shows. So they keep in business, so they stay relevant, and then they get more contracts with more production companies to keep them alive. And we'll talk about how that all works in the next slide. But just know that for you as a producer, as a musician, there is always a need for new, hot, awesome, original, fresh music. So no matter where you are as far as how long you've been producing music, you can always continuously improve and keep growing and keep making new music and keep challenging yourself to maybe even explore other genres or other types of sounds that you've never done before, because there's always a need for it. There's always a need for new music. So that's another reason why you can have longevity in this business. So there are three entities that are included in this industry that I'm involved in. So this will hopefully give you an overview of where you are in this business and basically who you're serving and who they're serving. And you can see like how this partnership between these three entities work, so that everybody is making money and everybody is getting paid and everybody gets to do what they love to do. And you will get to make music for a living because you're serving this little circle of these three entities inside of this industry, okay? So the first are content producers. Now, this can be production companies. This can be a TV show network. This can be a movie production company. This could even be a small online internet outlet that just puts out like online documentaries or even viral videos, or anybody who's putting together video content or even radio content that needs music for their stuff that they're putting out there, right? Now, all of those content producers, the one thing they have in common is they all need to move their viewers to do something, to purchase a product, to watch their TV show, whatever the call to action is. They need to move the person watching their show to do something, right? To either subscribe to their YouTube channel, all of those things, okay? Now, excuse me, music is the best way to do this, right? So we all know as musicians, you're watching this video, I know that music does something magical to you, especially to your emotions. So you hear a bright and amazing inspirational song, and you feel motivated and you're ready to go take on the world, right? You hear a very sad, somber, melancholy song, really, and it kind of brings you down in mood, makes you self-reflective, introspective. It does something to your emotions. Music really does move us. I mean, it really manipulates us in many ways. And advertisers absolutely know this. People who make movies, TV shows, commercials, that's why when you turn on the TV, you won't probably find more than 10 seconds without music. Just try it. Turn on a TV show, a network, whatever, you're going to hear music the entire day, because they know that music is the best way to drive somebody emotionally, to get them to do something they want them to do. And the second entity is music libraries. So what they do is they are the ones that actually help sort and put together a large group of musical tracks to be able to provide them to the content producers, okay? So that's the first two entities in this business. You got people putting out the TV shows, putting out the movies, putting out the commercials, they're producing it. And then you got the people who are gathering a whole bunch of great music and saying, hey, you guys need music for your shows, commercials, and movies. Here you go. We're going to clear them for you. We're going to put metadata so you can find them. We're going to put some artwork on them. We're going to categorize them. We're going to make your lives easy so you don't have to go out there searching for all this music. Our service that we provide to you as the music library to these content producers is we'll give you all the music you could possibly need, sign a contract with us, and use all of our music, okay? So those are the first two entities. And of course, you are the third, right? So your job is to provide music to these music libraries, and that's what I do for a living. Is I'm constantly writing, creating new music to submit to music libraries, and then those libraries basically turn around, submit it to the providers, the content producers who make the shows, and then once those shows airs, that's when we make money. Okay, so let me show you real quickly though. Well, first, everybody. You must work together to succeed in this business. So being selfish and having this point of view that, only you can make yourself successful and you don't need to rely on anybody else to do it is probably one of the main reasons why you won't succeed in this business. So you must be willing to work together with other people that can help you get placements, help you earn royalties, okay? So the first thing to keep in mind before you get into this business is keep in mind you will be working with other entities to become successful. Now, moving on to all of our favorite parts, how do you get paid? How you get paid in this business, okay? And the cool thing is this is one of the few businesses that you can get paid over and over and over again for the same work you did, one time, basically. So, I've done tracks that I produced in 2009, 2010. I'm still quarter after quarter getting paid for those songs and those placements that I produced years ago. Sometimes I get placements or the royalty checks, and I'm like, I don't even remember the name of that song, and I have to look in my library. Oh wow, that was one of the first tracks I ever produced way back then. And because one of the placements I got keeps airing on TV and internationally, and we'll talk about in a second, I'm getting paid over and over and over again. So that's pretty incredible. Very few other industries allow for this kind of, they call it passive income, where you do the work once and you get paid over and over again. Really, really cool. Now, with TV, film, music licensing, there are two types of payments, okay? So there's an upfront payment you can receive and then the back end. So let's go through each one of these and I can explain to you what they are. So the upfront is also known as a sync fee, and sync is short for a synchronization, right? You're synchronizing the music to a video program, okay? Or to a radio show. Whatever it is, they're using your music to synchronize it to a piece of content. And it's paid in exchange basically for the permission to use your music in a TV show, in a commercial, or a movie, okay? Pretty simple. And that's what you get paid once up front, okay? Now, back end is basically royalties that you're earning every time your music gets aired on TV or on a radio program, okay? So back end is what you get paid multiple times, right? So like I said, the stuff that I did in 2009, 2010, I keep getting paid over and over again. As long as that stays on TV and keeps getting aired, you keep getting paid over and over again, okay? So upfront, you get paid once. Back end, that's where the real money is at, because you get paid multiple times. And your royalties basically get distributed and paid to you through what are called performing rights organizations. You probably have heard of these, maybe not, and it's okay if you haven't. PROs is the short for them. And basically the main three are ASCAP, BMI, and CSAC. Now, ASCAP and BMI, they're publicly open. Anybody can apply for them and become a member. CSAC is private, and so they basically require an application, and they only accept you once they review your catalog. So if you're brand new into this business and you're not pulling in any or very little royalties right now, CSAC is not the way for you to go. ASCAP or BMI are better for you because they will accept you without any catalog that you have currently. They accept everybody, right? So they're the ones that you go with when you first start in this business. Later on, if you want to transfer the CSAC, I don't really know which one between ASCAP and BMI or CSAC is better for you in the long run. But I know in the beginning, as you're starting in this business, you want to stay with ASCAP or BMI just because you're not going to have any chance of getting with CSAC without money already coming into you right now. Now, here's the best part, and I put S in there because there are multiple best parts to this business. So syndication, this is a golden term. This is a magical term that you're going to fall in love with as you get into this industry. It's when a TV show airs for years and years and your song is placed on that TV show. That means that, like I said, like in 2009, some of those shows that I have my placements on, they are in syndication right now. So they get basically played over and over again. Now, this is basically when, let's say a TV show gets aired on, Seinfeld is a great example of this. So Seinfeld originally was on NBC, and now Seinfeld's on how many different networks, right? I think TBS has it, a couple other networks have it, not to mention all the international stations that now air Seinfeld as well. So that's what syndication is. It's when a show or a program originally airs on one network, and then all these other networks and countries basically start buying it and saying, yeah, we would like the rights to be able to air this over and over again on our station or in our country, okay? Syndication is the moneymaker in this business. That's how you make those huge royalties that keep coming in year after year after year. Now, another cool thing is that when a U.S. show gets aired overseas, you also get paid international royalties, okay? So a TV show that I get, like one of the recent reality shows that I got was Keeping Up with the Kardashians, recent couple years ago. But, I'm getting paid every time those episodes air. I think I got 7 episodes. Every time each one of those 7 episodes air in the U.S., I'm getting paid over and over and over again. That's awesome. Now, when Germany or Sweden or all these other countries now are picking up Keeping Up with the Kardashians because it took off in other countries, guess what? I'm also getting paid from those placements. So you get paid not only multiple times in the U.S., but you get also multiple times internationally in every single country that you get it placed in. So I hope you're starting to see now why this is such a huge industry, a very lucrative industry, a multi-billion-dollar industry that I'm surprised more musicians don't get into this. And I think it's just because they're not aware of it. They just don't know this is what is sitting here. This is a gold mine sitting here, okay? Now, you can work from anywhere with this business. So you can work at home like I do. If you have an office somewhere, you can work there, or even traveling. I recently actually went down to Cancun, Mexico for a little week-long vacation. And while I was down there, I had my laptop, I had my headphones, and I got an offer to do some music. And I had 1 or 2 days off that I wasn't like sightseeing or going to the beach or doing anything. So I decided, hey, I got the internet, I can make music. So you literally can crank out music from wherever you want to, as long as you have an ability to make music and you have a Wi-Fi connection, an internet connection to be able to send the music to the library. So it's very versatile. You don't have to tour, right? You don't have to leave your family. You don't have to, just, it's ultimate freedom, right? You can work from wherever you want to, doing what you love, with that kind of freedom. And it's like, I don't know. To me, it's unbelievable. I used to live in LA where the cost of living was through the roof. And I decided to move to Vegas where it's much cheaper and it's much easier to live out here. You can live like a king. And I can still do exactly what I'm doing. Even though I started this out in LA, now I live in Vegas, I still do the same thing. So, as far as like versatility and flexibility for your life, this business provides all of that. Obviously, your music is going to be heard by millions of people all over the world because you get a TV show placement, boom, it explodes. And now everybody's heard your music. Everybody's excited about your music. And the cool thing is that let's say you are an artist and you're trying to make it as primarily an artist, like you really believe in your original music. Now you can still you can launch an artist career through this business because all it takes is one major placement, right? You get a huge, let's say you get a jingle or you get some sort of a major scene in a movie and people are like, damn, and you've seen these movies, you've seen these TV shows where people are like, damn, what artist is that? And then the artist comes out and says, yep, this was my music. That was a song that you heard. And you can instantly get an entire following of, tens, hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of people because now they've been exposed to your music. Whereas before you were like, hey, like my stuff on Facebook and YouTube, right? So you're basically going to get a fast track to the big leagues, to it, a major exposure event that can literally like just put you into the stratosphere as far as fame and notoriety. And then boom, you got an artist career ready for you because you got into TV, film, music licensing. So for myself, I don't know. I'm not really that interested in launching my own personal artist career right now. So I just like doing this because I'm getting paid and I love making music and watching it on TV. It's just an awesome thing. But if you are trying to like launch your own artist career, you can use this business to do that. It's absolutely possible. And it does happen. This isn't just theory. I'm not saying this is to be, just to pump you up and get you all excited about it. Really, this happens in this business all the time. It really does. And then as you grow your catalog, your royalties in this business will grow exponentially. My royalties have been growing exponentially ever since I got into this business. It took a little bit in the beginning because I didn't really know what I was doing. I was making mistakes and kind of doing it the hard way, but that's why I'm giving you this presentation so you don't make the mistakes I did. But as, the placements grow, you'll see that those placements I earned in 2009, while I'm still earning those, I'm making new music every single year, right? So 2010, I had a whole new group of music songs that I put out there. 2011, 2012, 2013. So you can see placements start earning placements on top of placements on top of placements on top of royalties, and royalties are growing. It's all snowballing, right? And so every quarter when I'm getting my royalties, I'm seeing them double from the previous one. So I don't know if anything else in the music business is providing that kind of return on an investment in time and creative effort, right? And not having to worry about getting a PR agent and trying to get a manager and trying to get out there and promote yourself. You're not going to get that kind of exponential growth unless you are one of the, less than that 5% that explodes and gets some huge hit. But then again, do you have a long-term career? Very few of them do. So this one provides you a long-term career and exponential growth. Pretty crazy, right? Pretty crazy. All right, so that was an overview of why this business is an absolute moneymaker and why it should be something that you should at least consider pursuing. If not full-time, maybe something you can do on the side from your current band or singer-songwriter career, or whatever you're doing with your art right now with your music. This could be something that you do on the side as a sort of plan B, right? Now, most musicians, their plan B is they have to give up music and go get a day job. Well, if this is your plan B, if your artist career doesn't blow up how you want it to, and you don't see the success you want in that arena, well, here you are. Here's a plan B that basically can get you real money, real contracts, real exposure, and then even can eventually lead you back into launching your artist career. So that's why this is so important for you to consider at least pursuing on the side. If it's not going to be your main pursuit, which I've made it my main pursuit, and I'm very happy I did, but if you don't want to, at least having it as a side pursuit that you can do, a plan B, it's definitely worth your while. It's definitely worth your time because you don't want to end up, again, one of those bitter, jaded musicians that gets a job and pursues a career you don't love just because you didn't have a clear business plan or you didn't serve the right people that could put money in your pocket, okay? So for tomorrow's video, when you get it in your email inbox, we're going to talk about how can you find these music libraries that I'm talking about that you can get a licensing deal with, that they'll actually pay you that upfront fee to license your music and distribute your music to people who make TV shows and commercials and movies, right? How do you find these libraries to be able to submit to them? And then also I'm going to talk about how do you determine which library is most likely to accept your music and offer you a contract, okay? So a lot of people, when they find like a directory or a group of libraries that they want to send music to, they think, well, I'll just do a mass email to all of them. No, 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 no. You definitely don't want to do that. There's an art, there's a science to it, and you need to be very calculated with how you do that in order to succeed in this business, okay? So that's what we're going to go over in tomorrow's video. If you have any questions for this presentation or any question you have throughout the entire course of my crash course here, then just email me, jesse@musicmakescash.com. I'm very good at responding, normally within a day, oftentimes within a couple of hours. So I religiously check my email inbox. So just email me if you have any questions, if you're confused by anything, if this might seem like something you want to get into, and you have further questions, please. I'm always here for you as a resource for you to basically guide you through this business and what you can get involved in when you become a professional music producer for the TV, film, music licensing industry. So that said, we'll see you guys all tomorrow.